Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be showing you guys how to make this simple little girl's swimsuit. I decided to make this swimsuit because my niece wanted a pink swimsuit and I had this pretty glittery fabric in stock in my fabrics that I have, and I thought it would be really cute on her, so I decided to just make this cute little pattern, and very simple to make. You guys can actually make it at home. So I will be doing this tutorial so that you guys can see how to make this swimsuit and possibly do it yourselves. So follow along for this tutorial. Unfortunately, I had actually done the video for the pattern as well as me cutting it, but it somehow got deleted. But anyway, I am actually cutting straps, and I'm cutting 4 because I made 2 sets of swimsuits, but you only need 2 straps. But this is the pattern that I used for the straps. I like to use these weights to help me secure the fabric so that it doesn't move around while I'm cutting my pieces. I also always use tape so that the fabric also stays in place because swimwear fabric is pretty slippery, so it's kind of hard to cut sometimes, but this definitely helps. And I cut 4, but you only need 2. I cut 4 because I was making 2 sets of swimsuits, but you only need 2. I'm obsessed with this fabric. Look how pretty and sparkly it is. I love it, and my niece is going to love it too. So we actually are going to start off by sewing this with an overlock machine, and I actually started off with the straps for the swimsuit just because they're easy to make, so I like to start off with some easy parts. And I just went ahead and used an overlock machine, and I first do the long piece and then I do the little like triangle slash slanted little area so that I don't cut off too much of it with the machine. And I try to do this slowly. I'm actually just speeding it up for the video, but I actually do this very slow. And this is what it should look like. And then once you're finished, you just flip it around, and that's the final strap. And then the little edges, I like to pop them off with either a little safety pin or something pointy to make sure that the pointy edges are sticking out. And then you can go ahead and iron them, but I'm actually going to continue sewing. And now this is actually the pattern. It's just 3 pieces, technically 6 because we have the self pieces and then we have the lining. So what I'm going to do is sew all the lining together. So all the lining pieces together and then all the self pieces together. So we're going to start off by doing the top part and this bottom part here. That's where we're first going to sew our lining. And this is the top part. And I again used an overlock machine for that. And now we're going to do the bottom part. And this is what it should look like once you're finished sewing that. And then we move on to the self part, and it's going to be the same process. You're going to sew the top part, and that's what the finish should look like. And I still need to sew the bottom part to the self, but I'll do it right now. And we're also going to sew the edges. So I'm going to finish off sewing the edges of the lining so that we can close it all up. And then once we close that up with the overlock machine, I always double check, make sure that I didn't skip any areas. Once you're done sewing the sides of the lining, you're going to sew the bottom part of the self, and then you're also going to sew the sides of the self all the way to the top, all the edges, the sides, and this is what it should look like once you are done sewing all of it. And you can see it starts looking nice and clean. We are doing a clean finish for the outside, so this is what piecing everything together should start looking like. And then we're going to move on to adding the straps, and we need to flip the straps around because we are going to sew it on the outside part of the swimsuit. And basically this allows us to get like a clean finished look once we add the elastic towards the end. And this is what I was talking about earlier, using like a little safety pin or something like super pointy to get that nice crisp look on those edges of your straps. And for the straps, we are going to sew it with a single needle machine. You can use a home machine. And basically what you're going to do is you are going to sew it on the outside part of the swimsuit, and you're just going to do like a top stitch on it on the straps. Nothing fancy, just do a simple top stitch and that should be fine, and it should look like this when you flip it over. Now remember that we are going to reinforce it with the elastic once we put the elastic on that top part of the top. So don't worry about it just being added on with a single stitch. It should be fine. So then we're going to move on to adding some elastic with this overlock machine. And this is just a fancy extension elastic piece that it has so that we can add elastic, but you can just do it with a home serger and some elastic. You don't need to have this elastic machine. You can do it from home as well, just using your home serger or even a zigzag stitch. So we're just gonna add some elastic on the top part of the swimsuit, on the top edge of the swimsuit, and we start adding it, and we have to add it by putting the elastic on the self part, not the lining. So we're going to again add the elastic on the self part, not on the lining part. And that's how we're going to get a clean finish. And once we are done adding the elastic part to the top, we're going to move on to the leg part, which is what we're doing now. And it's going to be the same thing, adding it on the self part, not the lining part. And the reason for that is it's going to give us a clean finish once we flip it around. But this is what it should look like. That's the other leg that we need to add the elastic to, and this is what I mean by adding it on the self part. So it's the inside part of the swimsuit, but it's on the self fabric, not on the lining fabric. And this is what it should look like. We're just going to add it on the legs and on the top of the swimsuit to like hold the top part up. Once we are doing that step, we're actually going to make a little hole on the lining part, and this is how we're going to flip it inside out. I forgot to leave an opening at the bottom of the swimsuit, but you can also do it on the edge. And this is what the swimsuit should look like. And this is a clean finish swimsuit, but I honestly love how it came out. It's just so perfect and so sparkly. I think that this is the perfect sparkly swimsuit fabric for a little girl. I think that she's just going to love it, and I love that this little bow detail on the back that I was able to create with the straps. I think that it just adds a really cute touch to it. And it's very simple to make. As you guys can see, it was not hard at all. You guys can definitely make this at home. I believe in you. You can do it. Also, this is the back part of the swimsuit. But I hope you guys love this video, this DIY slash tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.